Yeah, so අපි මොනවද මේකෙන් තව DFTs ටිකක් කතා කරන්න ගමු. Right, අපි tutorial next question එකට යමු. City Eats is an online food ordering system that allows customers to order food online and get delivered to their doorstep. The restaurants, right, අපි මේ question එකක් කියවනකොට පොඩ්ඩක් වැදගත් දේවල් ටික point out කරගන්න ගමන් කියවමු. හරි. Point out කරගන්න ගමන් idea එක හරියට දාගන්න ගමන් මේක කියවගෙන යන්න right එතකොට ඔයාලට එකපාරින්ම වැඩේ කරගන්න පුළුවන්. City Eats is an online food ordering system. Okay, right. um, City Eats is an online food ordering system that allows customers to order food online, right? City Eats, so that's our system, right? City Eats is our system here, right? So first thing you need to understand what's the system is. You need to identify what the system is. City Eats is our system. It's an online food ordering system that allows customers to order food online and get delivered to their doorstep. The restaurant can post their available food and the food will be delivered by a set of riders hired by City Eats. So up till now it's describing the system. System එකේ වෙන procedure එක කියනවා මිසක් system එකේ අපි කියන්නේ මේ යන business flow එක කියනවා මිසක් තාම අපේ City Eats app එක ගැන කියලා නැහැ. හරිද? ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ හදන්න යන සිස්ටම් එක ගැන කියලා නෑ. ඔයාලට මෙතනට එනකන් සිස්ටම් එක ගැන ඉන්ට්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එකක් විතරයි දෙන්නේ. Right? The restaurants will provide the available food to City Eats. To the City Eats. City Eats will display that food in their system. City Eats will display that food in their system, which will be viewed by the customers. Customers will be able to provide their preferred food details or restaurant details in order to see the available food. Okay, then the restaurants. Now that's an external party that is interacting with the system, right? So you can underline that, right? That's an indication of an external entity. Restaurants will provide available food details. So that's an indication of a data flow, right? Data flow idea it will provide the available food details. Provide the available food to the City Eats. Available food. So it's providing available food to City Eats. City Eats will display the food in their system, which will be viewed by the customers. Okay, now then we have the customers. Customers will be able to provide their preferred food details. They are providing their preferred food details. That's a data that is flowing into the system, or restaurant details. Or restaurant details in order to see the available foods. Okay, then මෙතන ගත්තාම so මම last week එකේත් කිව්වා ඔයා මේක system මේ scenario එක කියවගෙන යන්න ඕනේ මෙන්න මේ දේවල් identify කරගන්න. What's the system? System එක මොකක්ද? Right? Who are the external entities? Right? Who are the external entities? What are the data flows? මෙන්න මේ ටික තමයි context diagram එකකට ඔයා දැනගන්න ඕනේ. ඔයා search කරගෙන යන්න ඕනේ. Okay? What is the system? Who are the external entities? And what are the data flows between the system? Okay? ඔයා තමයි දැන් මේ අපි identify කරන් යන්නේ. හරිද? Will be able to provide the preferred food details or the restaurant details. So you can see these are data flows, right? So this is an external entity. This is also an external entity. And the underlined ones are data flows between the external entities and the system. And native we identify right? In order to see the available food, restaurant details in order to see the available food. Depending on their need, the city foods, this should be City Eats, will display the available food and their prices to the customers. So here you can see the City Eats is displaying something back to the customer. So that's it, it's giving back some data to the customer, right? It's giving back available food and their prices, right, to the customers. Customers then can place an order. In order to place the order, they need to provide the location of delivery and confirm the order. In order to place the order, they need to provide the location of delivery. ah, in order to place the order, they need to provide location of delivery and confirm the order. Customers should enter their payment details at the time of confirming the order. At the same time, they need to provide the payment details as well. After the order is placed, it will be displayed to the restaurant. Okay, order is displayed to the restaurant. Then they can confirm the order. They need to confirm the order. Once the order is confirmed, it will be informed to the customer and will be informed to the nearest rider available. ළඟම ඉන්න rider එකත් මේක inform වෙනාලු. Once the rider confirms their availability, the restaurants and the customers will be informed about their rider details. Once the rider picks up the food from the restaurant, the rider will update their status to City Eats, which will then be displayed to the customer. Once the customer receives the food, they can confirm it to the system and provide a review. Right, this is a big system. Make a data flows good. Right, let's see how this is working. Right, first you need to understand, you need to identify what the system is. What's the system here? The City Eats. So you can indicate the system as a big box, right? Sampurna locus system indicate karna pula. So what's the system? City Eats. Okay. Now what's the first external entity we came across? The restaurants. We can put restaurants over here. Restaurants. Right? Restaurant will provide the available food details. Restaurants provide the available food details. Available food details. Right? So here monkey data flow ekak liyanota, you have to only denote the data flow. Right? It should be a noun phrase. The data flow should be a noun phrase. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ගත්තාම මේකේ පේන ඇති available food details. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක කියන්නේ noun එකක් විතරයි. Right? නාම පදයක් විතරයි. දැන් අපි මේක submit කරනවා මෙහෙම දෙමුද? Providing available food details. අන්න එතකොට වැරදි. ඒක එතකොට noun phrase එකක් නෙමෙයි. මේක verb phrase එකක් වෙනවා. හරිද? So only the data that is being transferred should be here. Right? මේක මේ label එකේ data එක ලියනවා විතරයි. Data එක දානවා කියලා ලියන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? Providing food details අන්න එහෙම එන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? ඉන්න idea තියාගන්න. Food details. Food detail. Okay. Food details to the City Eats. City Eats will then display the food items in their system, which will then be viewed by the customers. Right. Okay. ඒ දේවල් customers වලට පෙන්නනවලු. Right. ඒක customers වලට පෙන්නන එක අපි පස්සේ කතා කරමු. So then we have the customer. Right. Then we have the customer. Customer will be able to provide their preferred food details or the restaurant details. They provide the preferred food details. Customer provides the preferred food / restaurant details. So this is like almost similar to Uber Eats app, right? Uber Eats app right? We either provide the food we want or the restaurant we want, right? ඒක තමයි මෙතන දීලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒක නිසා මේ දෙකෙන් එකක් දෙන්න නිසා මෙතනට ස්ලෑෂ් එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා. So you give either of them. Okay? Preferred food details / restaurant details in order to see the prices. Customers then can place an order. Sorry. Will be provided preferred food details in order to see the available food. Depending on their need, the City Foods will display the available food and their prices to the customers. So depending on that, the system will give back the available food. Is it? Will display the available food. Yeah, it will display the available food. Available food. Not just available food plus their prices. Right? Displays both of them. On either day, available food plus prices. Okay. Plus their we were over and their prices to the customers. Customers then can place an order. In order to place the order, they need to provide the location of delivery and confirm the order. Customer should enter the payment details at the time of confirming the order. So when confirming the order, they need to provide some information. First, they need to provide the location of, just put location is enough, right? Location, plus there should be a order confirmation going on. Confirmation. The order method confirm the order. If you put confirm the order like it is, right? Confirm the order. Why? It's a verb, right? Yeah, again. It's not a verb that you need to include. You need to include a noun phrase, right? Again, it's a order confirmation. That's a data that is going, right? Order confirmation. That's not enough. Payment details has to be given as well, right? They all have to be given at the same time. So you have to put it in one data flow. මේ තුනම එකපාර යන නිසා මේක එකපාර දාගන්න ඕනේ. Payment details. Okay? Payment details at the time of confirming the order. After the order is placed, it will be displayed to the restaurant. Right. After the order is placed, it will be displayed to the restaurant. So the order will be displayed to the restaurant. Right. Order is displayed to the restaurant. Customer should enter. Okay. Restaurant. Then they will confirm the order. Then the restaurant will also confirm the order. There's gonna be another order confirmation. Order confirmation. There should be order confirmation coming back, right? Once the order is confirmed, it will be informed to the customer and to the nearest rider available. So the order confirmation will make it as restaurant confirmation, or otherwise just order confirmation. Order confirmation is informed back to the customer, right? Is informed back to the customer and also to the nearest rider, available. Not just the customer, to the rider as well, right? So we'll put a rider somewhere around here. We'll have another external entity, rider, right? And the order confirmation is provided to the rider. Order, we'll put the rider somewhere over here. So we'll have enough space to write. Managing the space is also important in this case. Have order confirmation. Order confirmation will come back to the rider, right? Okay. Once the rider confirms the availability, the rider needs to confirm the availability. That's gonna be another data flow coming back. We'll put it as availability confirmation. Availability confirmation, right? Right. Rider is confirming it's their availability. So you need to like put some data back into the system, right? Rider needs to send some data back into the system confirming the availability. That's a data flow, right? The restaurant and the customers will be informed about the rider details. Then the restaurants and the customers will be informed about the rider details. So there's another data flow. Customers and the restaurants will get the rider details, right? Here as well, they also get rider details. Okay, right. Okay, right. Rider details again. You'll be informed to the customer. Once the rider once the rider picks up the food, from the restaurant, the rider will update their status to City Eats. Once the food is picked up, right, the rider will update their status. Rider status is updated to the system, right? Rider status is updated to the system. Okay. Food confirm. The restaurant and the customer will inform. Once the rider picks up the food from the restaurant, rider will update their status to City Eats, which will be displayed to the customer. So the rider states status. I'll write it properly. Yeah, it should be rider status. Rider status. Status, right? It is informed back to the customer. Rider status, right? Rider status update on our customer, right? Once the rider picks up food, will be okay. Uh, Once the rider picks up food, will be okay. Once the customer receives the food, they can confirm it to the system. Oh, sorry. Rider details is not rider status. Method a restaurant on them. Should come to the customer. Sorry, my bad. Should come to the customer, not the restaurant. Okay. Then band. මෙතන දැන් මේ අපි මෙතන ටම පොඩ්ඩක් පස්සට ආයේ මට අතන මේක data flow එක වැරදුනා. The rider status is informed back to the customer, right? It will be displayed to the customer. Right, about customer ගේ now it's all packed. දැන් customer ගේ මෙතන පේනවාද data flows ගොඩාක් තියෙනවා. ඒතර ආයෙ එකක් ඔතන දැම්මදී ඔක පොඩ්ඩක් අච්චාරුවක් වගේ එනවනේ. So what do? I do something like this. I take another customer here. So even though I take another customer entity over here, is it a different customer? No, they both are the same, right? It's a copy of the same entity. මෙයාගේම copy එකක්. To indicate that it is a copy of the same customer, we put something like this. We put a small line like this. So it indicates it's the same customer. It's a copy of the same customer. Okay? So that we need to put. මෙහෙම පොඩි dash එකක් දාගන්න. හරි? Right. Then the status will be rider status will be sent to this guy. Right? So it is much clearer. මේක ASCII දානට වඩා මෙතනට දාගන්න. Rider status. Right? Rider status is coming back. Once the customer receives the food, they can confirm it to the system. Order receipt confirmation. Order receipt confirmation. We'll put order receipt confirmation. Order received confirmation. Anything is good. Okay, confirmation. And can provide a review as well. Order receipt confirmation plus the review, right? Order receipt confirmation plus a review. They provide them both. So I'll put them both together. Order received confirmation plus review. Okay, that's the context diagram for this scenario. I think you got the idea. All clear up to that point? Doubts නැහැ කියලා මම හිතනවා. මොනවා හරි question එකක් තියෙනවා නම් chat එකේ දාන්න. මම මේ හිතන්නේ මේක අපි last එකේ යන්නේ නැහැ නේද? මේ DFT එකේ last එකේ යන්නේ නැහැ නේ? First time I'm thinking that we are trying this. Right, okay guys. So we'll do another context diagram. Now this question is a bit different, right? Compared to what we did now. This one is going to be a bit different. We'll see what's the difference is and see. Right, okay, let's see. We have this scenario. Smart Edu is a distance learning platform for schools in Sri Lanka, which is implemented by a leading software company named DigiEdu. Right, okay. Smart Edu is a distance learning platform for schools in Sri Lanka, which is implemented by a software company named DigiEdu. Okay, now what's the system? Now, what's the system? First thing I said, we need to understand, identify three things. What the system is, right? What the system is, who are the external entities, and what are the data flows. You need to understand, identify those three things. Okay, now what's the system here? The system is Smart Edu. That's our system. Smart Edu is a distance learning platform for schools in Sri Lanka, which is implemented by a software company named DigiEdu. Now it says it is implemented by a company named DigiEdu. So the system is independent of the company that's creating it, right? uh, the system is what we need to focus on, not the company that's providing it, right? So the company is also an external entity. Even though they are creating the system, they are not part of the system, right? So we are focused only on the system, not on the external entities, not on the company that is creating it, right? I thought අපි system එක ගැන විතරයි අපි focus එක දෙන්නේ. So the DigiEdu company is an external entity. The services provided by the system can be purchased by the schools, which will enable the students and teachers to log teachers of the schools to access them. So here it's giving you the business case, right? මේ scenario එකේ business case එක දෙන්නේ තාම. Scenario එක කියන්නේ. මෙන්න මෙහෙම system එකක් මේක. මේකේ වැඩේ වෙන්නේ මේ විදියට කියලා idea එකක් දෙනවා විතරයි. මෙතන data flow එකක් ගැන කිසි දෙයක් කතාවක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? So you can get an overview. This is the sort of systems that we are going to use. The services provided by the system can be purchased by the schools, which will enable the students and teachers of the schools to access them. මේක මොකක්ද කියලා දෙන්නේ? Smart Edu කියලා distance learning platform එකක් තියනලු. ඒක create කරන්නේ DigiEdu කියන company එකෙන්ලු. Schools වලට පුළුවන්ලු මේ company එකෙන් මේ system එක purchase කරන්න. School එකක් එක purchase කරපුවාම school එකට පුළුවන්ලු teachers ලටයි students ලටයි මේක use කරන්න දෙන්න. So that's the scenario. Okay. In order for a school to get registered, they must provide the registration details and payment details to DigiEdu. Right. For the schools to get registered, here you have an external entity, another external entity, school, right? To get registered, they must provide the registration details and payment details to DigiEdu. They must provide the registration details and payment details to DigiEdu company. Now here we have the DigiEdu company again. So that's an external entity. The company will provide the information to the Smart Edu. The company is providing the information back into Smart Edu system, right? So that's our system, right? So who are providing the details back to the Smart Edu system? The DigiEdu company. Schools are providing their information to DigiEdu company, and the DigiEdu company is providing information back to the system. The system will then generate the access codes. System generates the access code for teachers and students to log in. These access codes will be given to the schools by DigiEdu company. Right. Here you can see the system is creating the access codes, right? The system is creating the access codes, and the DigiEdu company is giving it back to the school, right? These access codes will be given from DigiEdu company to the school, right? To the school by the DigiEdu company, right? Okay, have a good idea about these things. We'll see why these are important. Okay. And then they will be distributed to teachers and students. Access code will be distributed to teachers and students by the particular school. Teachers and students will later provide these access codes to the system in order to log in, right? Teachers and students teachers and students will later provide these access code to the system in order to log in. Teachers will provide the study resources to the Smart Edu. Okay. Now here it says teachers and students will later provide these access codes. So they provide these access code to the system in order to log in. Teachers will provide the study resources. Teachers provide the study resources to the system, which will later be accessed by the students. Study resources will be later accessed by the students, right? When accessing the materials, they need to enter the subject details into the system. In order to use the study resources, they need to provide the subject details. Enter the subject details into the system. According to the entered subject details, the available resources will be displayed. The available resources will be displayed to the students. Then the student can select their required resources and access them. Student can select their required resources and access them. Student can raise their questions to the teachers. Student can raise their questions to the teachers. Yes, good. Someone asking, on teachers and students external entities? Yes, they are. I haven't underlined them, right? Yeah, teachers and students are external entities. I haven't underlined them, right? Yeah, they are external entities. Yes, they are providing these things, so they are considered to be external entities. I forgot to highlight them. Okay, good, right? Uh, then the students can select their required resources and access them. Students can raise questions. Students can raise questions to teachers through the system. When such question is raised, teacher can view the question and provide the answers. Teacher can view the question and provide the answers, which will then be referred to by the students. Right. Okay, now that's the scenario. Okay, have a big picture now. So there's a company called DigiEdu. They are creating a software called SmartEdu, and they are selling it to schools. So the schools can purchase this particular software, right? Schools can purchase this particular software and give the usage to their teachers and students for them to use it. Okay. Okay. Now that's a scenario. There's a company named DigiEdu. They are creating a software. They're selling it to schools. Schools can purchase this software or the system and give the usage rights to the teachers and students of their school, right? So then the teachers can provide the study resources and students can access them by providing the subject details that they want, right? And depending on the subjects that they want, they can access the resources. And also students can raise questions to the system, and depending on the questions that they raise, teachers can provide the answers, which will then later be referred by the students. So that's the entire scenario, right? Okay, now let's identify. Let's see what the scenario is. There's a important fact. There's a big important bit of an important fact in this scenario. Let's see what it is. Okay. Now, what's the system? What's the system? Smart edu. Smart edu. Right. Okay. Now the system is smart edu. Smart Edu is a distance learning platform for schools and schools in Sri Lanka, which is implemented by a leading software company named DigiEdu. The services provided by the system can be purchased by schools, which will enable the teachers and students of the school to access them. In order for a school to get registered, they must provide the registration details and payment details to DigiEdu. Right now, there's a scenario. There's schools, right? Right, school. They need, in order to get registered, they must provide the registration details to DigiEdu. Now, DigiEdu is also an external entity. So, school is providing details to DigiEdu. So, that's a data flow between two external entities, right? That's a data flow taken happening between two external entities. Last week, I highlighted if there's a data flow between two external entities, right? There's something happening like that. You should not include that in your data flow diagram, DFT. We typically don't include them in our data flow diagram. But in our syllabus, right? But in our syllabus, and also in most of the scenarios, we can, if we want to depict it in our diagram, if we want to depict it in our diagram, we can use dotted lines. We typically don't denote them, we typically don't represent them, but if we need to represent them, you can use what? Dotted lines. To which do we use the dotted lines? If there's a data flow happening between two external entities, right? Now there's a text data flow happening between two external entities, schools and the DigiEdu. So I'll indicate it using dotted lines, right? You have to denote it using dotted lines, right? So what's the details they are providing? Registration details and payment details. Registration plus payment details, right? Okay. Digital company, the company will provide the information to the smart edu system. Then the digital company itself will provide the registration details to the system. Registration details. Okay. Now that's how it's happening. Registration details to the digital company. Digital company. The company will provide the information to the smart edu system. The company will provide the information to the smart edu system. Then the system will generate the access code to teachers and students to log in. These access codes will be given to the school by the digital company. No, it says access codes are given to the schools by the digital company, right? They are giving access codes, right, from the digital company to the school. So it's like this. So the you pay to the company. So the company enters the details into the software, and the software generates the access code and give it back to the digital company, and digital company hand it back to the school. That's how the scenario is going on. Now here you can see it specifically doesn't say the system is giving back the access code to digital company. It says the digital company is giving the access code to school. Yeah, they are giving the access code back to school, but digital company don't have the access code, right? So where are these access codes? They are in the smart edu system. So in order for the digital company to provide it to the school, the system should provide this access code to digital as well, right? Not digital as well. They should provide it to digital, right? So it is not explicitly said, right? It's not explicitly said, right? They don't directly say it. You have to assume that, right? You have to identify, there should be a data flow like this. There's no data flow clearly mentioned, explicitly not mentioned. It's like it's implied here, right? Here there's a data flow, access codes, right? There's a implication, access codes are given to the DGID. Okay. The system will then generate the access code to teachers and students to log in. This access code will be given to the schools by the DGID company. So that's all what they are saying. These access codes are given to the school by the DGID company, right? And then they will be distributed to teachers and students by the particular school. Then school they will be distributed to school teachers and students. Teachers latai, students latai, access codes and all, right? So to make it much clearer, I'll put teachers and students here. Teachers and students. Teacher and student, right? And give the access code to them like this. Access codes, and then here as well access codes, access codes, right? Teacher tie, student tie, access code ටික මම දෙනවා මෙතනදී, right? School එකෙන් එන මේවා ටික access codes ටික. Okay. By the particular school. Teachers and students will later provide the access codes to digital company, right? Then later on, teachers and students can provide these access code to the system. I'll take another teacher here, right? I'll take another teacher here. So since it's a copy of the same teacher, I mark it like this. And they provide back the access codes to the system. Access codes to the system in order to log in. And also another copy of the students, I'll mark it like this then, student. And they also give the access code to the, right? Access codes to the system. Okay. Now you can see why I included it like this. Then if you were to like put a dotted line like this, මෙතනට dotted line එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ teach, right? Teacher ට මෙතන මෙහෙම dotted line එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ, student ට මේ හෙන ලොකු වටයක් ගාව dotted line එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නොවන නිසා තමයි මම මෙතන එයාගේ copy එකක් අරගෙන මෙතනට දාලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay? That's why I have a copy like this. Okay? ඒක identify කරගන්න, like to make it much clearer. Okay? These access codes will be given to the smart school by the digital company, and then they will be distributed to teachers and students by the school. Teachers will then provide the access code to the system in order to log in. Teachers will provide the study resources to Smart Edu, right? They provide the smart study resources. Teacher provide the study resources, right? To smart edu, which will later be accessed by the students. When accessing the, so the study resources will be accessed by the students. Student study resources දෙනවා, right? මේකේ study resources දෙනවා මෙයා. එහෙම කියලා තියෙනවා. Teacher study resources system එකට දෙනවා. System main study resources student එකට දෙනවා, right? When මේකේ කියනවා when accessing the materials, they need to enter their subject details into the system. They need to provide the subject details, right? Subject details need to be provided, right? So depending on the subject details that they provide, the system according to enter subject details, available resources will be displayed. Available resources will be displayed. Available resources will be displayed to the student. Available resources will be displayed to the student. Then the student can select their required resources, right? Student can select their required resources. They select their required resources. Selected resources. Selected resources, right? Selected resources right? They give the selected resources, and then the study resources will be given to the student, right? So we said the system will give the study resources, right? Before we said that, but how do they give it? How does the system give it? You need to first give the subject details, then the system gives back the available resources, and then the student need to select these resources, select what resources he needs, right? And then only the study resources will be provided. Okay, that's how the system is working. Okay. Okay, students, then the student can select the required, and student can, okay, student can raise the questions, right? Student can raise the questions. Here student can raise questions. Raise questions. Student gives the questions, right? And these questions will be viewed by the teacher, right? So these questions will be viewed by the teacher, and they provide back the answers, right? They provide back the answers, which will then be seen by the student, so they can see the answers, right? Okay, I think you got the idea about this context diagram as well. Hope it is clear. Is it clear, guys? Is there any unclear areas? Right, okay, right. Yeah, that's about context diagrams. You can see the important thing we have here is like when you have data flows between external entities, you have to denote it using dotted lines, right? Yeah. So we'll take a small break and continue with data flow diagrams, okay?